Feeding time, the lion house. The air is still, stale, ravaged by the sweat of the big cats and the under air of their wild breath. Their keeper, the zoo's self-styled hatchet man, wants to let them loose. His hands dance toward the locks under the control of some force, not Lakewood, not whippoorwill. Civilization in him resists the temptation, his evolution ransacked by the roars that erupt when he brings out the meat, be it beef or horse on the bone. He has been the cat's custodian for 3 years, and at first it was just a thrill to be so close to them, to see the way their muscles moved sinuously under their fur. Over time, he has started to move that way himself, with his skin loose and his muscles rolling languorous underneath. He has adopted a hirsute haircut and wears his blue coveralls on his days off. Sometimes he stares into the cat's golden X'd eyes before he puts their meal through the metal box of the locked and gated cages, stares at them until they lower their gazes and sit back on their massive haunches, not exactly patient and definitely not docile, but watchfully respectful. It is noon, and the cob coal is cooking in the sky, the lion house a Dutch oven baking in the onlooker's desire to feel the felines pacing and baying from the pit of their being. The profile of the pinkish beige building looks like an Art Deco movie palace. Inside, the railing is a minimalist installation. Anyone could lean across it to ogle a lion's open gullet. There is nervous laughter and gasping from the assembly when the tigers begin to rumble from deep within their throats. It is stirring to be so close to being eaten alive, but not to be in any real danger. To be reminded of nature's vast food chain, without worrying about becoming actual food. Bring it, some older boys holler while outlining the air with karate/dance moves. A baby in a stroller, being the smallest and most vulnerable, begins to cry, which sets the other babies in the cavernous room crying in shared distress. Their mothers scoop them up and hold them tight, more out of fright than comfort, though they don't quite understand themselves. Is that a piece of coiled rope that looks like a snake, or a snake that looks like a piece of coiled rope? Will the sound of crying babies draw the lion's attention away from their given meal in search of fresher meat? I stand a singing bowl in the center of the crowd, ringing with the cats' echoing chants. Their howls send sweeping vibrations across the cement floor and through each of us, starting from the soles of our feet and traveling up and up through our bodies, our legs, our torsos, our arms, our necks, and lastly out of the tops of our so many heads, each of us a bell, a gong being struck continuously at the appointed time in an ancient temple, each of us feeling and feeding on what we need.